The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madeir, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Forever Fab podcast with Plant Kween.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Y'all ready for part 2? Come on now. Hello.
Now, you have said yourself that you are a major advocate of self-care. And in part 1, we were talking about how plants can help ease you into a self-care routine. How may plants enable self-care around mental health?
So so there's been studies that have shown that being in nature reduces a lot of stress-inducing chemicals in our bodies. It lowers our heart rate.
Yes.
For me, my mind is constantly abuzz, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, and I forgot the name of the practice, but it's the practice around sitting still and observing what's around you.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I have about 200 plants in my apartment. So
Whoa.
it's a lot of plants in here. And I get to sit still, and there's just so many different things that I can observe, right?
Yes.
For me, I mentioned prior, like my watering schedule.
Yes.
It gets me, so there's something called flow, right?
Yes. Yes.
And, my plants create that flow space for me where I'm like in tune with what is right in front of me.
So you are in a specific zone.
A very specific zone. And it helps quiet my thoughts in a lot of ways. Also for me, I think self-care should be a buffet, right? Folks should have, have a list of things that you can choose from that will help you feel good in that moment or during that day, because sometimes it doesn't look the same, right?
Yeah,
sometimes our body needs different things. Sometimes our mind needs different things, right?
Yes. A toolbox.
A toolbox, there we go. And so I allow myself if my plants are not, giving me that thing that I need, I give myself permission to either, I don't know, maybe I'm like, okay, cool, I want to do research on this particular plant. And me as a nerd, that's something I enjoy. That may not be something someone else enjoys, but for me, that's something that I like to do.
Right.
I have a lot of plant books, so it allows me to kind of just dive into this little world. I want to learn about the history of this particular plant. Let's see what I find.
Yes.
So, my plants give me options. They give me an opportunity to sit still. And because I live in an urban city, nature is not readily available to me.
True.
And so I can't just step outside and put my feet in grass, right?
Right.
So this is also a way of me curating a space for my own comfort, bringing the nature to me so that it's accessible to me.
Okay. Now you've said that a space with plants, and this is a quote, is a space to create moments of joy and healing. What exactly did you mean by that?
Ooh. So, I've said this a lot, but for me, curating a space for your own comfort, whether that is, your home or maybe it's an office, it's whatever space you occupy or spend a lot of your time, right?
Yes.
Curating that space, I would hope, is like writing a love letter to your past, present, and future self, right?
Ooh.
That you are taking your time with it, that you are honoring the spaces you've been, the spaces where you are now, and
Yes.
where you want to go, right?
Yes.
And that you're enjoying the process, right?
Yes.
And so that has been a healing journey for me, being able to really reflect on who I was, who I am, who I want to be, and manifesting that in how I curate my space. The artwork that I bring in, the
Yes.
kinds of plants that I bring in, the colors that I put on my walls. That
The
has been a
people who
healing.
you allow into your space.
Hello. And I don't allow a lot of people in my space. But if they're blessed to be welcomed here, honey, it's an
That's a
experience.
gift.
Hello. And so that part is healing for me.
Yes.
When I talk about joy, as a Black, queer, non-binary person, when I step out into the world, there are always moments where, unfortunately, the society, moments when there is something that is trying to drown me, trying to wash me away, trying to erase me. And my home has become my haven, right?
Yeah.
My home is a refuge from the rushing waters. It is calm waters for me to float, to rest, to experience joy, to experience happiness, by my own hands, right?
Yes.
Like I am the architect of this space that I'm curating, and I am the author of my own joy in this space. And
And the
so,
narrator of your own narrative.
hello, come on now, come on. And so, for folks who are listening, and especially with the times that are upon us,
Yes.
I think it's important that you allow yourself to curate a space where you feel safe, right? I think we always talk about safe spaces. That's something you can curate for yourself, right? Sometimes
Absolutely.
it's necessary for your survival to do that, right? And
Yes.
so for me, I've taken a lot of intentional time to make sure that my home is a place that I like to spend time in. And my plants have been a huge part of that.
And that's also a way for you to be accountable to yourself, for your responsibility to yourself to find your own version of happiness from within, as opposed to trying to get it from outside of you, which we all know doesn't work. And if it does, it doesn't last.
Hello. I mean, honey, nobody, and for everyone listening, nobody's going to love up on you in the way that you can love up on yourself,
Yourself.
baby. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing when I I don't know, I just, and this has just been in the last few years, just having that realization, like, damn, like, yes, I date, and yes, eventually I do want a partner, but honey, I am all bad by myself, baby. I thoroughly enjoy my own company.
Yes.
I make myself laugh. I treat myself good. Now I'm not, girl. I got a whole dating list, dating bucket list for myself, child. I'm like, yes, I may take this person there, but I want to take myself there. Ooh, I want to go to a romantic dinner. I'm going to dress up and I'm going to take my booty to that dinner. I'm going to have me a little book by my side. I'm going to order whatever I want. And I'm going to have me a good time. Ooh, I want to go see that show. I'm going to go. Honey, I've seen shows by myself. I travel by myself. I go to dinner by myself. I'm like, child, I'm going to love up on me the same way I'll be loving up on somebody I'm crushing over. I'm
Absolutely.
like, I am my biggest crush, honey. I am my biggest crush, baby.
As you should be. I think that is sage advice. I mean, what better way to get to know yourself so that you can be a better person in the relationship that you're in.
Hello.
Right?
Hello.
Right. Know yourself. It's all about knowing yourself and loving up on yourself, right?
I'm telling you. I went on a date with this guy and he was like, well, who I'm in competition with, you know, I'm trying to date you. And I was like, oh,
that would be 200 plants.
I was like, child, I'm like, you competing against me, baby. You competing against me. I treated myself to many amazing dates. Let's see if you can compete with me, baby.
Oh my gosh, I love it. We're gonna have a live in real life key.
Hello, I think we need to.
Okay. Now I'm going to get a little technical here because
let's do it.
I don't know what to do with AI so much. And it's like when you get something from AI on the web, how do you quote it? So according to an AI overview on the web, quote, houseplants offer a range of benefits, including reducing stress and anxiety, improving air quality by filtering pollutants, increasing humidity, boosting focus and productivity, enhancing mood, and providing a sense of well-being, essentially contributing to better mental and physical health. Now, of all of these benefits, which one, just one, would you say has been the most compelling or therapeutic for you?
Ooh, oh my goodness.
I know so many options.
Yeah. As a person who navigates anxiety, I would say the stress reducing aspect is probably the most important for me. And that's really, plants allow me a sense of routine.
Yes.
It allows me a sense of control of my environment.
Yeah.
And so, so like there are moments when I'm extremely anxious. And I mean, for folks who are navigating anxiety, y'all know what it's like. One little thought enters your brain and it's like a spiral, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've learned I'm also in therapy. I've been in therapy for about 4 years now, and I love my therapist. She has helped me to understand that sometimes our anxiety is just a little voice inside our head that's just trying to protect us from, a past trauma or experiencing trauma, or it's just really trying to protect us. And so I've leaned into being kinder to that voice. Navigating it with grace, and also allowing myself to be curious about it. It's like, girl, why are we thinking that way?
Yes.
Look, why are we thinking that way? And if there are moments, and sometimes there are moments when we're experiencing anxiety and we're exhausted. We're like, girl, I don't have patience to be curious today, honey. Right. I just feel this
just
way.
Go away.
Just go away, girl. I'll dive into my plan. And so that is the moment where I'm like, you know what? I gotta focus on something. I gotta engage in flow. Let me be with my plants. And so my plants have really been an amazing tool that has allowed me to navigate my anxiety.
I think that is so important and good for you because there's always been stress. Okay. There's always been anxiety. We got that. But I definitely think perhaps post-pandemic, maybe from the pandemic, I'm not sure. To me, there seems to be an epidemic of stress and anxiety. And I think some people really underestimate how taxing, unhealthy, and potentially dangerous that uncontrolled, unmitigated, unmanaged stress can be. So I would agree with you on that.
There are, again, I think, folks need to allow themselves a toolkit, a buffet of ways to navigate the various emotions that they may be feeling. And if plants are a part of that, then yes, God, I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
Okay.
Add it to the list, honey.
Add it to the list. Now, you have been known to name the members of your plant collective. Let us know a couple of names and how you came up with them.
Yeah. So collectively,
yes.
I call my plants green girls.
Yes.
And that is from a love and infatuation with the Golden Girls.
Yes.
I just love watching the Golden Girls all the way from college until present day.
Yes.
And so I call them my green girls. And I call them that not only from, my love for the Golden Girls,
yes.
but also, I think we all deserve those good girlfriends that remind you how to care for yourself, right?
Yes.
And so that's also that relationship that I built with my plants, understanding they're living, breathing creatures, and there's a lot of reciprocity happening here. And I would hope that for any good friends that you have, that good group of girlfriends that can get you there. And then, so collectively, they're my green girls.
Yes.
And then the names are really just like their scientific Latin names. I think some names are derived from a few different languages, depending on their place of origin.
Yes.
And for me, it's just wanting to, again, as a person who has been doing a lot of work, advocating, empowering underrepresented and marginalized communities, in the nonprofit world, in education and higher education, and now in tech. And so for folks who don't know, I also work full time as well in the tech world. And then I also do Plant Kween. So,
wow,
we gotta.
You're busy.
She's busy. And so where was I going with that thought? What was the question?
It wasn't. It's not just Golden Girls and then the girlfriends who can bring you to that place. It's also
It is also my fascination with language, right? And wanting to understand the history of these different plants and like how that derives. I mean, some of these plants are just named after the white men who decided that they discovered them. I was like, that's good to know. I want to know that. I'm like, okay, so that's what that really is. Okay,
right.
Some are in relation to the region of the world that they're from or their different characteristics. But yeah, I think it's important for me to just understand all aspects of the plants that I'm bringing into my home, so that I am just aware and educated around, what the history that I'm bringing into my home.
Yes. So you have plants, so you're surrounded by them. They're healing. They create a space for joy for you. They're a respite. They're an outlet. Is your diet completely plant-based?
Oh my God. So I am an aspiring vegan.
Really?
Yeah, aspiring vegan. So my plan is to go plant-based in 2025. I've been preparing myself to begin that journey. And right now, the only thing that's hard for me is chicken. Like, I love chicken. And so I'm trying my best to find alternatives. And there's so many alternatives. It's just, I don't cook. That's the only thing.
Yes.
I do not cook. And so that makes it a little difficult. But yes, my goal is to be plant-based in 2025. And we are going to try so hard and diligently to get there.
Hashtag goals. I'm sure you'll get there, whether it's 2025 or 2026.
We'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
That sounds like to me a much better project than Project 2025.
2025, child. Who you calling? Lord have mercy. Oh my God.
So you have beautiful plants. You have a beautiful sense of style. You have a beautiful personality. Let's talk about your beauty and skincare. What is your skincare routine? I want to know.
Oh my God, I love it. Thank you. It's pretty simple. So I use a lot of oh my God, why am I blinking on the skincare? I only use this hold on.
Moisturizer?
So there's a particular brand that I
Okay.
use, and I am blanking on.
But you said it's pretty simple. Is it 3 steps, like wash, moisturize,
So I do
protect, or?
so I do a moisturizer.
Okay.
Sometimes every week or so, like an exfoliating like wash,
Scrub type
like
thing, yeah.
to get the dead skin off. I
Yes.
do a non-foam cleanser.
Okay.
Then I do my toner.
Ooh.
Then my serum. Then there's a serum. Then ASAP. That's what I use. ASAP.
Okay, I gotcha.
So yeah. And then cleanser. Oh yeah. So toner, serum, moisturizer, sunscreen.
All right, that's a routine.
Yeah, I'm like very adamant about it. I think for me, I love routines. Like if there is something that I know is good for me and I can make it a habit,
yes,
it just feeds into my. So I pretty much do the same thing every morning to prepare my body, and it's it's so easy to get into that flow.
Yes.
And just let my body carry me through it as my mind is slowly waking up. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, skincare is always something I do in the morning and in the evening.
Agree. I also do morning and evening, and I love the flow that I get into with my skincare routine. It's like, how is this vitamin C working for me? And what's my skin doing today? What is my skin telling me about how I ate or didn't eat or whatever, how I stressed or
Did you
didn't
drink
stress
enough water?
yesterday?
Did you drink enough water?
Exactly. So it's a conversation.
Hello.
People think I'm talking to myself. I mean, I am, but still. Whatever.
There ain't nothing wrong with it, honey.
Oh my God. I can't believe, I just cannot believe this conversation is coming to an end for now.
For now.
Yeah. So with my last question, which is the signature question for a signature person on this Forever Fab podcast, it's called the Fab Five, right? So the Fab Five asks you, what are your top 5 recommendations for living a lush, beautiful, and fabulous life?
Ooh. Live a lush life. Let's see. Number one.
Yes.
Number one, allow yourself to be curious. I think curiosity across all parts of life is it's just a beautiful thing if you allow yourself to lean into curiosity. So that would be my number one.
I like
I'm just naturally a curious person. So allow yourself to be curious.
Number 2,
allow yourself to be playful.
I like that.
I think as when we're children, what do? We play. Yes. But as we, strut into adulthood, we take away that sense of play. And I think we as humans deserve to play at all parts of our life. So allow yourself to be playful, whatever that means, whatever area of your life that means, allow yourself to be playful.
And honor that inner child, right?
Yes, please. Like go back to some of those childhood joys. Like I'm telling you, do your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit good, honey.
Yes.
Oh.
Number 3.
Number 3, engage in the nature around you. Engage in the nature around you. My philosophy, I think, and the whole reason I kind of started this Plant Kween platform was, if you're curious about if you're curious and loving towards the plant on your dining room table, your living room, your windowsill, maybe that'll entice you to care about the tree on your block. you care about the tree on your block, then maybe they'll make you care about the park in your neighborhood.
Oh my goodness, beautiful.
If you care about the park in your neighborhood, then what about the community gardens in your area? And if you care about all that, then you understand your place in this ecosystem. We are in an ecosystem, and we have a role to play, especially as we continue to engage in climate justice advocacy. Climate change is real. We have a part to play, and we have to help folks reconnect with the nature around them. So engage with the nature around you, reconnect with the land that you're on, understand the land that you're on in its history.
Absolutely.
Also, and the communities of people that came before you on that land, honey, understand that there's a history there. So understand that. That's important.
Yes. Brilliant. Number 4, darling.
Number 4. Treat yourself like your favorite crush.
Ooh.
Do the things that you would do that you, I'm sure we all had that person back in the day, or maybe right now. You'd be like, ooh, honey, if I were able to go on a date with that person, I would take them to the most elaborate, lush, decadent place. Honey, just remove that person and put yourself in that place. And you go do that for yourself, baby. Treat yourself like your favorite crush, honey.
Yes. Pull out all stops.
Hello, baby. Hello.
Fabulous. And number 5.
And number 5, and I think this is going to, I think this is more important than ever.
Yes.
And obviously it depends on a level of safety, right?
Yes, of course.
But allow yourself to exist as unapologetically in your truth as possible. We have this one body that we get, right?
Yes.
Exist unapologetically, and love up on yourself unapologetically. Love up on those around you unapologetically. Never feel sorry for the ways that you have to care for yourself, right?
Very true.
So, and also understand that, we evolve and we grow, right? And as we continue to unravel the layers of ourselves and, eventually get to that bloom, right?
Yes.
We also have to understand that some of the people around us are not meant to experience that bloom, right? So, as you grow, you may shed yourself some leaves, right?
Yes,
Some people are leaves, some people are branches, and some people are roots, honey. And our experiences, our seasons through life will let us know who they are.
Very true. Very true.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. I mean, darling, really. Oh, wow. Wow. Christopher.
Darling.
This has
been. Do we have the same glasses?
Oh my gosh. Are these the blue blockers? No, yours look way fancier. Oh yeah, yours are fancy.
Okay. I was like, but they're the same shape. They're the same shape. Okay,
yeah, they're the same. They're the same aviator shape. But these are my nerdy blue blocking glasses. Yes, honey. I am an Amarata. Thank you so much for the lusciousness of your energy, for your wisdom about plants and how they can help us to live a more beautiful life. Thank you for your light and the brightness that you bring to just anyone who interacts with you. You are indeed a very special person.
Thank you. I'm taking in those words. Eat it up, baby. I want to thank you for your warm embrace the night that we met. that was a highlight of my evening. So thank you for that warm embrace. Thank you for that energy. Thank you for welcoming me to this sacred space, and all the amazing questions and the opportunity to really reflect with you. So thank you for all the light and energy and care and work that you put into, creating a space like this. It's very much needed more than ever.
Thank you so very much. I accept your words with honor and gratitude.
Darling. And yes, we have to figure out how we can get a little live something happening.
We're not going to figure it out. I'm just going to send you some dates. That's it. It's that easy, darling.
Let's do it. Done. Period.
Thank you so much, Christopher, aka Plant Kween. That's with a K, for your naturally fashionable presence on the Forever Fab podcast. Oh, people, this brings us to our close of this week's episode of the Forever Fab podcast with Plant Kween. Now, you may follow Plant Kween on social at Plant Kween. That's Kween. And you may also, please do, buy the book, You Grow Gurl, Plant Kween's Lush Guide to Growing Your Garden. And I believe you can find that on Amazon. Any place else we can find that book, Christopher?
Yes, you can find it on Amazon. There's a link in my bio.
Link in bio.
On Instagram. And yeah, I know it's in a few local bookstores. It's sold across online. But yeah, it's a very fun adventure and playful adventure that encourages you to lean into curiosity as you green up your space. And create not only a lush indoor garden, but a lush inner garden, darling. Because we're basically house plants with complex emotions.
Oh my gosh, a lush inner garden of the soul. Part 2. Hello, no, part 3. Hello. Yes. Part 3, baby.
Hello, honey. Hello.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for listening to this week's Forever Fab podcast episode. Until next time, stay beautiful, lush, curious, playful, and of course, fabulous inside and out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty, curated by Dr. Shirley Madeir, MD. Live beautifully and help make the world a more beautiful place.